Hello, family. Angela Cage here with Cage Wellness Collaboration. I know that it has been such a very long time since I've been able to present you all with one of these messages, but know that you all have not been far from my heart and my mind. But life has been so very busy with my full time job, also running my life coaching business, and just handling the day to day needs. But I do have these messages that I do want to deliver to you all. I feel like there's good information that I have for you all. So, again, I'm back at it, and today's message is going to be about clear communication. Now, I'm always talking to people about making sure that you're communicating clearly. When you have something that you want to say, when you have a message that you want to deliver, you do want to ensure that the receiver of the message, the audience, whether it's one person, three people, a team of people, or an auditorium full of people, you do want to ensure that individuals are receiving the message and they're getting exactly what you mean to say. So, this message is going to be dedicated to clear communication. And I'm always talking to my family about making sure that you're communicating clearly. So, I just want to point out a few key things that will make you have good communication and help you communicate more clear. Now, when you're talking about communication, that is really a two-way street. So you have the sender, the person who's delivering a message, and then you have a receiver, the person or people who's receiving the message. And when there's communication, you may be the sender of the message initially. So you have something that you say to a person, they receive it, then they have a message or a response that they need to get back to you. So it's important that you, number one, know the roles within communication and that you are doing your part to make sure that communication is a two-way street. It's effective on both ends. So first, I want to start with the sender of the message. So this is the person that initiates the communication. They have something to say, they have a message to deliver. So there's a few things that I want to highlight that is good for effective and clear communication, concise communication. So the very first thing is to say what you mean. So when you have a message, be clear at the very start what it is that you're trying to express. Are you giving someone a directive? Are you trying to get someone to do something? Are you trying to give them some information that they may need? What is it that you're really trying to say? And if this is a communication that involves you expressing your feelings, get clear about what those feelings are so that you can clearly express those feelings because you want to say what you mean in the message. You don't want to cause ambiguity or a lot of murkiness, a lot of gray area, like people are confused. They have no idea what you're talking about. So make sure that you're clear at the outset of what it is that you're trying to say and you actually say what you mean. I know we get into a lot of times we get into communication and we talk to people and we use, well, Well, that's the next key point. Don't assume. Don't assume that people know what you mean. Clearly express what you mean. So that goes back to the first point, getting clear about what you want to say so that you can say what you mean and then you don't assume that people know what you mean to say. You clearly express it. And then the other point is don't expect people to read your mind. So you may have a message, or you may say something, and it's a very ambiguous statement. So there's a lot of gray area. It's a very general statement, or you may not say anything at all because you may feel like they should already know. Don't assume that they know and don't expect people to read your mind because you can't get upset if someone hasn't received your message and acted appropriately to your message or in response to your message if you have not clearly communicated your message. And then the other thing is that when you've expressed yourself clearly, when you've said everything that you've meant to say, you haven't made any assumptions about what people know. I mean, you haven't expected people to read your mind. You've clearly said what you needed to say. Then the other point for that is to make sure that you that you leave space for clarifying questions. Allow an opportunity for the receiver of the message to ask you questions. And then that takes me to my point that if you are the receiver of the message, so if you're the receiver of the message, you want to ask for clarity when needed. If there's anything that you're confused about, you're not clear about, get clear while the communication is happening. In that moment, if you have that confusion, go ahead and clear that up. Get clarity right then and there. The other part is for you as the sender, the receiver of the message. You don't make any assumptions. Don't make any assumptions. Go ahead and ask those questions. Let's just be clear. And the other thing that I always recommend is that you state your understanding of the message so that it can be confirmed for you that you have understood the message correctly. And then that, with you restating, oh, you've said this and this is what I understand you to mean, with you doing that, that opens up a door. So if there is any confusion, if you haven't got the full message, if you didn't get the full picture, that's an opportunity for the sender to get clear right then and there so that you all leave on the same page. Because there's nothing like having a conversation with the person. Each person leaves thinking that they've expressed their point, the other person has got their point, and there's been no meeting of the minds. Each person leaves with their own understanding, and there's been no connection. There's been no real communication because no one knows exactly what the actual message was. Everybody's just leaving with their own understanding without confirmation. Now, you all know that I like my quotes, so I found a couple good quotes and a story. So the one quote that I found, this one is attributed to Nat Turner, but it says, "Good communication is the bridge between confusion and clarity." And that's exactly what I've been talking about. Making sure you're saying what you mean. Don't make any assumptions, not expecting people to read your mind. When you're receiving a message, you're not making any assumptions. You're asking clarifying questions so that you can restate your understanding and confirm that it's been understood. So that's that bridge between confusion and clarity. Because if you're trying to communicate effectively, the goal is for clarity, not for confusion. And then I have another quote that I found, and this really resonated with me. A lack of communication, so that's ineffective communication, also is in that lack of communication, breeds assumptions that the other person is, a lack of communication breeds assumptions of what the other person is thinking or feeling, if I can say that. Assumptions are more often than not incorrect, and that's very true. We are left to our own devices. We make up stories, assumptions, and a lot of times they're not right. And we had the opportunity to just get clear, and we could all leave on the same understanding. And I just want to leave you with one story. And this actually, one of my staff members shared this with me, and I thought it kind of lends to this good or effective, clear communication message. So this is a story about 4 people named Everybody, Somebody, Anybody, and Nobody. There was an important job to be done, and everybody was sure that somebody would do it. Anybody could have done it, but nobody did it. Somebody got angry about that because it's everybody's job. Everybody thought anybody could do it, but nobody realized that everybody would not do it. It ended up that everybody blamed somebody when nobody did what anybody could have done. And really, that is just a really quick story to show you how that is an example of ineffective communication. There was no clarity. The whatever was supposed to be done, it was not clear to who was supposed to be doing it, and there's fault on all parts, the sender of the message and the receiver of the message. So again, I want you all to win, and part of winning is communicating effectively, being able to express yourself, making sure that you're heard, making sure that the people on the other side understand you, and if you're the receiver of the message, making sure that you're understanding, because you want to have a meeting of the mind, effective communications. And again, I want you all to win with effective communication. I love you all always. You all make it a great day.